Whew. What's up, guys? It's Quincy with Coin Club Crypto. Welcome to my channel. It's another one of these Cali vids, and well, I did it. Probably going, what? What'd you do? I quit my stuffy six-figure job at, this cushy insurance company, all the bells and whistles. And this isn't me to brag or anything. It was great, and it's sort of this weird thing for me that I'm like, it's like this thing that you've been striving for a while, just to get it and realize it's not something you really wanted. And the only reason I say that is, well, I'm working on Zinfin still. My job for that insurance firm is whatever. And, I was mostly working on code I didn't care for. I was mostly dealing with projects that, I really didn't even know what the deal was. It was kind of just I got this teeny tiny snippet of it. And I felt like I'd never got a chance to really expand, my curiosity in some of the tech we were working on. And it was all in AWS. I'm an AWS developer at heart, but it's one of those things where, other than the money, I didn't care for anything I was doing. And it sucks because, it's a good-ass freaking job. People go why would you do that? Oh, my God. And it's not even that, oh, whatever. I'm actually going to be doing a few other things, but we'll get into that. But it's not so much the job or the money. It's that I finally found myself in a place doing exactly what I love to do. And that's just building things. Expanding upon my ideas and tinkering with things and doing it. And that's the thing, I get to do that with Zinfin. Oh yeah, by the way, Zinfin team, you guys are freaking just legends, absolute legends. And because the technology they're working on is just on a whole nother level, and I fall in love with it every day. And that's the thing. It sucks to be it's kind of I hate to make it sound like this, but it's my main job is my wife that's and I'm just no. And Zinfin is just the hot girl over there that's just come here. And I bet that's a bad analogy, but it definitely feels I'm just what thing I'm working on, or the thing I was working on for I guess you could say my career, was just not the thing I cared about. So I quit. I said, fuck it, dude. I'm already doing what I want to do with Zinfin. Why am I stressing myself out over projects I couldn't care about with this other? And that's the thing, that was probably the biggest thing. It was a very corporate-y company. I've never really been at a corporate entity before, I guess, or one that was that corporate. So it was definitely just sort of strange for me, sort of trying to navigate the general, I don't even know, the business structure or whatever. I don't know. And that's the thing, the job wasn't bad or hard or anything. It was just with everything going on, and I felt like I finally was able to elevate myself to where I want to be, even though that's exactly what I was doing when I was getting that job. But I guess it's one of those things you don't really realize it till after you have it, that, well, this isn't really this isn't me. This isn't something I want, And it's one of those things where everyone's gonna have to figure out what they want. And I bet people are gonna, come across things that they work for and then they realize that it's not them either. I guess all I can really say is I'm glad I realized this now and not when I'm 40. But it's the biggest thing is between what's going on with Zinfin, between what's going on YouTube, between me trying to set up a bunch of these partnerships, and, well, I'm starting a consultancy firm. Well, I guess you couldn't really call it a consultancy firm, but I'm starting a crypto consultancy, I don't know, side gig or whatever. My biggest thing, and this is why it's kind of funny that I'm doing this now. The reason why I want to do this is, well, one, I get asked a bazillion times a day, people asking me a bunch of questions. Some people ask more serious questions than others, but some people are very, very, very persistent with trying to ask me questions, to the point to where there's maybe 3 or 4 people on every tweet or comment I have, basically asking some obscure question. And yeah, I was already gonna do a little bit of consultancy just from kind of a business sense as opposed to an individual sense. But my biggest thing is I explain technology, and there's no reason that if you want to come here and you want to talk, you want to have a better understanding of what you can do with the technology, what you can build on there, who you can work with in regards to what technologies you may want to actually build out on, and maybe even just some sort of speculation on the future and what I believe the technology is going to go, on top of elaborating on how a lot of these technologies work. Honestly, I'd much rather do that. I much rather, the next thing, it's not like a full thing. I'm really trying to make it like a 15 to 20 hours a week thing. But people ask me all the time, and it's one of those things where I have no problem literally like just talking to people like for free or anything. It's just I don't have all the time in the world. And before I had my job, so I just didn't even do that before. But now, well, now I'm like a free agent now. You know, I'm working with Zinfin obviously, but they're way more flexible than my previous job. And I got YouTube, which is just like the most flexible job ever, I guess. And then I've got a bunch of these projects coming up, and they're all behind the scenes. You guys will see them when they start coming into fruition, and there's more of a mainstream sort of appeal to a lot of these. You got to remember, like when you're building stuff in the background, no one cares until you launch. Like nobody cares. And so I've got like just all this stuff going on, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't get up and go like, oh wow, I'm stressing over this project I just couldn't care about. While meanwhile, the project I do care about, I'm like putting it on hold because of this thing. And like, why? Why? Because of money? Because of like a status thing? Like, why? If I don't like it, who cares? It's just, it's one of those things where I realized what I wanted right in the midst of it. And I'm lucky for that, because I could have gotten to that job, not had any of this, and been stuck there. And like, wow, you know, I didn't realize it. And that's the thing, like, it's not even the job's fault or anything. It was mostly just because of everything going on. But even just sort of how, I don't know, it just wasn't me. And now that I'm in sort of this new paradigm in regards to my content, I guess you could say, or this image I have in regards to trying to educate people in the crypto space, like whatever this is way more me than anything I've ever done before. And I'm already building out the stuff I was already building out. I'm already doing the networking. I'm already doing the partnership. Everything that I was already doing as just like a developer, it's almost like I'm able to do it on steroids as a YouTuber. And that's the thing, I feel weird calling myself a YouTuber. I'm like, it's so funny. Like a month and a half ago, I would have probably been cracking jokes about like YouTubers and like jobs or whatever. Like I probably would have been like ripping so hard. It's funny too, because I probably shouldn't. There's so many YouTubers make so much money. Like it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I never like thought of this as ever like a job, and it sort of is, but it's this weird, I don't even know what it is, but I like it. I like talking to you guys. I like explaining my thoughts. I like expanding my ideas, and I like finding people that like to expand their ideas. You know, it's not very fun just sitting here talking to yourself about the future. You know, it's my main thing is I quit the main breadwinner job. And you may be going, oh, isn't that a little risky? But I already have a handful of what's it called, revenues of income or whatever. It's not like it's the worst thing. I mean, obviously it's like a pay cut, but that's the thing, it's not about the money. It's about what I'm able to do for the future. It's about what I'm able to build. It's about what I'm able to learn. I literally felt like I was stuck there. Like I wasn't learning anything that I wanted to learn. And I was learning more things about cloud development, that things I weren't familiar with before. But that's just what happens when you work on these platforms. You're not going to learn everything. There's always going to be stuff that you don't know. So it was like I was focusing and stressing on the things that it's like I was focusing and stressing on the things that I was achieving for a goal over a year ago. And that's the thing. If you asked me like a year and a half ago, like, if I could have been working at the job I was just working at, I would have been like, oh my God, that would have been the dream come true. It's just absolutely amazing. But now it's like, and maybe crypto has something to do with that too, because at the time I was mostly focused on cloud as opposed to crypto. But now, just with everything I'm able to do with crypto, it makes the classic development seem so boring. You know, it's I don't know how to describe it. There's something just so profound about crypto for me that makes it just, it's hard to describe, but it's absolutely like, it's hypnotic. Like it makes me literally sit there and want to sit there for hours and days and want to code this out and want to see it work and want it really come to fruition. It's like, I've never really had that before. I mean, I've had that before with like, I've had a startup before and I've had a couple other projects, and I've had it for those projects, but never for something as just the space as a whole. And well, it feels like it just twisted my priorities around. So now that, you know, I'm kind of off the, what is that, the crypto saying, the wage cage? Oh, yeah, that's funny. Now that I'm out the wage cage, I guess. Well, what's next? So I'm gonna be focusing on consulting. You know, if anybody out here wants to be able to have one-on-ones with me, You can contact me down in the description down below. I have my contact information. I'll have my consulting hours, my rates. And this isn't like if you're not really interested, don't. The whole point of this is if you think that you have some sort of information you want to learn, but you're not sure how somebody could break it down to you, then I'd suggest you reach out. But this isn't just like, don't just reach out just to say hi. Like, I want to teach people, and I'm not, obviously, like, if you just wanted to say hi, like, I'm not just gonna say like, no, I'll probably turn it into something, productive. But I don't want people to feel like this is just a set thing. Anyone that reaches out to me, I want to focus on, what do you want to learn? What can I explain? And this thing, if I don't know, I'll tell you where to go. I'll tell you where to go. I'll tell you where to learn. I'll tell you what you need. You want the developer perspective, you can have an hour of my time, and I'll have that down in the description. But that's not even like my main thing. It's kind of just it actually kind of goes into my cycle because it's kind of cool. So let me actually explain my cycle real quick because this is pretty cool. So my whole cycle is I go to work, let's say it's Zinfin or my private project, do a bunch of stuff, learn a bunch of stuff, expand on my ideas, then go to YouTube, take those ideas that I expand upon, and I expand even further, except I'm a little bit more vague and a little bit more clear. Or I guess that's a little small. I'm a little bit more vague on the general use and the general technicality of the technology, but I try to break things down. That's the best way to put it. I try to break things down, and well, that's kind of like this weird little cycle I have here. So with being able to add this consultancy bit, what I want to do is take that same sort of enterprise mentality of going over to my development projects and then taking what I learned and then breaking them down for you guys. I want to be able to have interactions with you guys and then take the questions that you guys have and broadcast it to the rest of you. Because my friends tell me this all the time, but they're like, dude, there's just so many questions that we may have and you don't have them because you already know, and you can't not know what you know what I mean? Like, how am I supposed to know what you don't know, and how am I supposed to automatically understand that you don't know it? So mostly it's been my friends that have kind of been sort of like the kid in the back of the class with the question that everyone's thinking. But I want to expand this out a little bit more too, especially with people that have very, very, very dynamic ideas on what they want the future of technology to be, or what they want to do with the future of technology. And I think I can really help with that. So, but yeah, it's a whole new paradigm now. What am I going to do next? I don't know. Actually, I kind of do. I'm going to go code for do something I actually really like doing. But yeah, this whole thing has been absolutely nuts for me, and to be honest, it's insanely overwhelming. I don't know what I don't know what to do. It's been a lot, but the biggest thing is it's all good. It's all good. I'm not having it's not like things are bad or anything. Things are stressful for a little bit, but with a lot of stuff that's going to be coming down the pipe, this next 6 months is going to be a wild ride, and I can't wait to take it with you guys. So I'll see you on the next one. Peace.